Good evening, everybody. It's Miles here, Coach Miles. Welcome to another episode of Coaching for Coaches. We are live. Welcome to the show. If you're tuning in, if you're watching live, give me a yo, give me a yo in the chat. If you're watching on the replay, give me a hashtag replay. That's what they do, isn't it? I think these influencers online. Give me a hashtag replay if you're watching on the replay. And welcome to today's show. Yeah, if you're watching live, give me a yo in the chat. If you're watching on the replay, give me a hashtag replay so that I know that you're here. And I've got the stream on my phone so that I can see who is actually here watching live. So today's episode, and the purpose of these episodes, by the way, is really to simplify the process of building a coaching business. I see a lot of coaches, a lot of rookie coaches, a lot of coaches that are not financially doing well. And I believe that there are some really common sense mistakes that they're making. What I want to do in these shows is really demystify the beginning, especially of a coaching journey, because I think what often happens is, and I've been guilty of this in the past as well, is sometimes I have had a tendency in the past when I was starting my coaching journey to look at certain messages on social media, offline, online, of people telling me how to grow a coaching business, many of which, may I add, are good strategies and tactics that are suggested, but many of them, what they don't teach you is that timing is a really crucial part. And so what I mean by that is, if you do the right marketing thing at the wrong time, it won't work. So, for example, no disrespect to these marketing tools, but as a coach starting out, knowing from my own experience of not having any of these things and getting to first £50,000 without any of these things. I didn't have a podcast or a funnel or a website or a business card. I didn't have any of that to get to the first 50,000. So they're great marketing tools. Like, I'll definitely not say that they're not. Big fan of Russell Brunson, who created ClickFunnels. Great platform. But it's not something that I believe that you need at the very beginning. And so what I want to teach you in these shows is really how to get clients, how to get the first client, the second client, without a lot of complicated marketing stuff. So this episode today is really aimed at those of you that have no coaching clients yet. And what I want to do in this episode is kind of share with you what I believe is the number one way to fix it quickly. I taught this in our academy, which is a mentorship program. It's a all-in-one solution. You get me as your mentor, as your coach. You get a mastermind community. We support you every single week on growing your coaching business, hold you accountable to a higher standard. And I spoke about this in our academy. So this is kind of like a bit of a sneak preview into what we do there. And the reason, and what I want to really share with you is a little bit against the grain of what the so-called gurus in the space will tell you about the topic of niching. So niching is something that you're probably familiar with that word. Ultimately, in the world of coaching, the message is you need a niche, right? And although I am a big advocate for the importance of having a niche, I think it is critically important to get your coaching business off the ground. I do actually believe that there is a lower hanging fruit. There's something that's even easier than niching yourself that can get you a coaching client, get your first client, second client. Arguably, my kind of coming out of the pandemic, to kind of tell you a story. If you're with me at the start of the pandemic, I was delivering an event at the Holiday Inn in Bloomsbury. All of my work at that point was delivering events around the country. Hotels shut, so our primary source of income was gone. And for the next 102 days, I hustled my butt off to get coaching clients, and I replaced the income that we lost in 102 days. And I didn't have a niche. I just did this one thing, or actually two questions I'm about to ask you, but this is the thing that I did to go from income loss to replacing it and restoring it in 102 days. So let's get into it, shall we? So there's effectively two questions that you want to ask that make up this one thing to fix that you don't have any coaching clients quickly. So you want to write these questions down. Really powerful. And ultimately, if you apply these to these questions, if you do this thing that I'm about to share with you, what it's going to mean for you is that there's a much higher probability that you're actually going to get coaching clients fast. If you're willing to kind of share that you don't have any clients yet, just put a 0 in the chat so that I know that this is definitely for you, because it is my firm belief that if you're able to answer these two questions and act upon them, it will be a really strong, there's a strong probability even, that you will get interest and potentially a coaching client quite quickly, actually. So the two questions that you must consider if you don't have any coaching clients right now that can really help you to just get a client fast. All right, that's really what we're talking about here. This video is not about building sustainable long-term coaching growth, right? This is about, if you want to run a marathon and you've never ran before, you got to run 1 mile before you can run, 26? Yeah, 26 miles, 24 miles, can't remember. So, you know, the Chinese proverb says a journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. So let's focus on the single step. We're not talking about building a coaching business here. We're talking about getting one client. Forget the niche thing. You're going to park that. So if you're like, Miles, I've got a niche, just park it for a minute and answer yourself these two questions. Because if you apply these two questions, you could get a coaching client quicker, getting my words out, you could get a coaching client quicker than if you go down the route that maybe you're currently going down if you've not got any clients yet. All right. If you've got clients and it's working, you might not want to do this, but you might, because you'll be surprised how this can work for you. So the first question you want to write down is, who do I know who can actually afford coaching? So that presupposes that you know the pricing for your coaching. If you don't, that's something else. That's a separate video for a different day. But who do you know? So you want to write down, who do I know that can actually afford coaching? So imagine you charge £2,000 or euros for a coaching program, for example, going rate, average rate, right? Who do I know who can actually afford coaching? So that's the first question you want to consider. Who do I know who could actually afford coaching? And you want to make a list of those people. Like, you actually genuinely want to write those names down or put them in your phone. Who do I know? Maybe go through your Facebook, through your Instagram, through your phone book, through your email, LinkedIn. Who do I know that could actually afford coaching? That's the first question. Don't overthink that question. There's nothing more to it. Who do I know who could afford it? And obviously you're going to have to guess a little bit, but if you have an idea about the kind of employment people are in, the kind of business that they're in, the kind of financial situation you're in, just have a guess. Have a guess. Who do I think could afford coaching? And the second question you want to consider is, who do I know that might actually want coaching? So this is people who you know are into personal development, personal growth. You know that they're into working on themselves, improving themselves. Who do I know that actually might want coaching? Not necessarily does want coaching, just might want coaching. So the first question is, who do I know that could actually afford it? Who do I know that who actually might want coaching? And then the third question you want to ask, if you've not already thought about this, I've kind of framed it back to front a little bit, is what would be the best way to reach these people? So the first group is, who do I know that could actually afford it? The second group is, who do I know that would want it? And the third question is, what would be the best way to reach those people? Then what you want to do is you want to collate two lists. First list, people can afford it, put a list. Second, who would actually want it, put a list. And then what you're going to do is you're going to individually contact each person from the first group. When you've done all those, you're going to individually contact the people from the second group, and you're going to invite them to a coaching call. Now, in our Master Coach program, we teach you exactly what to say if you were to send a message in this way, because there's one thing I've learned. It's that sending a text message or posting it on your Facebook as a status will not work, because it's disingenuine and it isn't personalized. So you have to send a personalized message. In our program, we actually teach you a 30 to 45 second voice message that you can send out that has a high success rate of people responding with a yes or a no to an invitation to a coaching call. So you want to go ahead, and if you've not been on our training, then you should. Why haven't you? So you want to go, who do I know that can actually afford coaching? Who do I know that can actually afford coaching or might be able to afford coaching? Who do I know that would actually want coaching? And what would be the best way to contact them? And actually the way to contact them, my suggestion is send them a personalized video or voice message inviting them. If you're in our Master Coach program, you have the exact what to say and the training of me teaching how to do that. If you're not, then get yourself on a Master Coach training where we actually teach you how to do that, and specifically how to get 50 to 100 leads, people saying yes to you very, very quickly, so that you can actually start getting traction for your coaching business. So remind you of those questions again. Who do I know that might actually be able to afford my coaching? Write a list. Who do I know that might actually want coaching? Write a list. 3, what would be the best way to contact them? I've already suggested voice message or video. Do that in the next, write your lists out, and then my recommendation to you, in fact, I'll give you a little bit of accountability here, is I want you in the next 7 days to have contacted at least the first list, sent them all messages, half of the second list within the next 7 days, and just see what happens. And then let me know by sending me a message back or posting on the channel, sending me a private message if you've got my number, and letting me know the results that you get. And then depending on how you get on, send me a message, let me know how you get on, and I'll kind of give you a message back and give you some feedback on maybe what you can do better if you're not getting the response that you want. So really, really simple. It isn't, it's not groundbreakingly original, but often what it takes to get your coaching business off the ground and get that first client is to do the things that actually are the hardest thing to do, which is personalized message, because it leans into that fear of what if people reject me, what if they don't respond, which we don't want. So what a lot of rookie coaches do is they just do the whole posting on social media thing because it's easier, but most things in life that are easy don't get the kind of results that you want. The things that you want in life sometimes require hard work. This is simple, it's hard work, but it's very, very simple. So go ahead and try that strategy. I'm really curious to see how you get on. So hope you found this episode useful. If you have, let me know what you've enjoyed most about it. If you haven't done our Master Coach training, make sure that you send me a message and let me know if you want to have a call to have a chat about the next training that we've got coming up. If you've already done Master Coach and you recognize now that you probably could do with having more support, guidance, mentoring, hand-holding from me and the team to do more of this stuff on a regular basis and actually get your first, second, third client, if you're recognizing, you know what, I actually need that now, I need a peer group, I need support, then make sure you send me a message and I'll have a chat with you. I'll get one of the team to have a chat with you about our academy, which I think would be the next logical step for you. So I hope you enjoyed today's video, and I'll